Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Maricas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pete Shinnick. And Coach, Tigers get victory number 1 of the season on Saturday against Morgan, a team that you knew coming in was going to be good defensively. They were one of the top teams in FCS last year, and they showed it. But you were able to put 14 points on the board in the first half. What was it that Morgan did differently, or you did differently in the second half where they shut you out?
Yeah, no, credit to them. Obviously, in the second half, I thought they did play a little different than they did in the first half. Loved how we moved the ball in the first half. As you said, we got down there. We ended up scoring 14 points, got 7 right before the end of half. If you look at our second half possessions, we were driving, getting the ball down there. We had some penalties that took us out of the red zone twice, and then we had a turnover that took us out. Third quarter, I think it was a fumble, and then fourth quarter, it was 2 drives with penalties that really backed us up. We miss a field goal in there, but with all that being said, I thought Morgan tightened down a little bit, played us a little differently. But our guys just continued to fight, continued to scratch on offense. I felt like we had opportunities. We just didn't take advantage of them. You get down to the 11-yard line, and then you get a personal foul, and then you get another a holding or, a sack, whatever that was, that series. Now we're out of field goal position. We get down there another time, and we get called for pass interference as Sam was blocking, even though, it looked like a quarterback scramble. So as you do it, nothing went our way in the second half, but we were still able to hold on to the ball, keep it out of their hands for a little bit, and come up with a victory.
One of those touchdowns, Sam Reynolds, and what a story he is, coming back from a cardiac incident barely over a year ago. I'm sure his teammates were more than thrilled that Sam came up with a touchdown catch on Saturday.
No, very emotional for him and very, supportive in the locker room. We ended up giving him that ball, just to commemorate that touchdown. But there was so much love for him on the sideline and so much joy, for him just to be able to obviously accomplish that. But not only first touchdown of his career, but obviously first time coming back from what took place a year ago. So for him to be alive and walking around, that in and of itself is a miracle. But then to throw that he's playing really well and scores a touchdown, that just makes, icing on the cake, as they say. I mean, it's an amazing story.
It certainly is. Now, defensively, you played very well against the Bears. Much better than week 1 against Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, loved how our guys played. We kept asking ourselves, okay, where are we on defense? You play a team like Cincinnati, and, kind of came to the conclusion of, okay, we think Cincinnati's really good. Well, they come out and put about 500 yards on Pittsburgh, who's always a traditionally very difficult defense to play against. So, we said, all right, maybe they were really good. Now what do we have to do to tighten up things? And really credit our D-line and linebackers for just really being in great position the entire day. We asked our corners to play a lot of man, and there weren't many people open. And so that really played into, I think, the quarterback having some indecision, us getting 5 sacks. Ernie Smith, I thought, played an amazing game for us. He was named co-defensive player of the week for us. Rodney Roan was the other defensive player of the week for us. And both those guys, I thought, stepped up to the challenge from last week going, okay, yeah, it is a Big 12 opponent, but, where do we need to be and what can we do better?
You get that first win, and I'm sure there's not maybe a sense of relief, but you get the monkey off your back, you get that first victory, and now move forward to take on a very tough Villanova team on Saturday up in Villanova, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, great scheduling, right? I mean, just, fantastic. Let's go play the number 4 team in the country right out the bat. But no, Spiro, I told our team this on Monday, and, when we walked off the field at Villanova last November, second to the last game, I was like, man, I want to play these guys again. I got a lot of respect for them. They are an extremely well-coached team, and they are very rarely out of position either on offense or defense. I mean, they are where they need to be. They do what they're supposed to do. Extremely well-coached. When I walked off the field, I was like, man, I just didn't think we played as well as we're capable of. And I didn't think we played the type of game that we could. And so when I saw that we had them week 3, I was like, all right, great. Let's figure out how good we are early on. Let's see where we are. Let's see, how much we've improved in a year. And, I like how we're playing. I like what we're doing. I like that our guys are continuing to believe in each other and support each other and encourage each other. I thought our energy on the sideline at Morgan was fantastic. So a lot of the things that we talk about, positive energy, unity, how we approach this, starting to see our guys do that. So, again, Villanova is well deserving of their ranking. They got that from what they did a year ago, but also they're 2-0 right now. So they deserve it. So we got to be at our best.
You only have to play 2 top 5 teams in the country in a row now with Villanova and then North Dakota State. But
yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Villanova, the one thing, they have not turned the ball over in the first 2 games. Mm-hmm. They're number 5 in the nation defensively, and they get off to a good start. They've outscored their opponents 17-0 in the first quarter. So obviously, you don't want to fall behind the 8 ball, especially on the road.
No, and you mentioned why they're getting off to fast starts. I mean, they're not hurting themselves at all. And when you don't turn the ball over, we were +2 coming out of Cincinnati. We gave up 1 and we got 3, so we were +2 coming out of Cincinnati. Now we're even for the year because we gave the ball away twice on Saturday. So when you give the ball away twice, look at the difference between field position and all the stuff that we did. They have played extremely solid on defense. I mean, there are very, very few holes in what they do. But they're also punting the ball well, and when the offense doesn't turn it over, they're not giving it to them, giving it to the opposing team in bad situations. So they're playing very patient football. They're really playing what I call great team football. Offense, defense, special teams, all in sync. Everybody's on the same page. Again, we're going to have to play at a very high level. I think their quarterback is extremely dynamic. He runs as well as he throws. I think he's preseason first team all-conference, coming back. He's one of the better quarterbacks, I think, in the country right now. So we will definitely have to be tuned in to where he's at, what he's doing, because he can throw as well as run, and when he runs, he goes fast.
Yeah, he's only averaging 7.8 yards a carry. He's also thrown for 337 yards in the first 2 games. But you look at them, and they run the ball extremely well. Isaiah Ragland, along with Connor Watkins, the quarterback.
Yep.
Ragland's averaging 6.5 yards a carry, and their third leading rusher, David Avitt, 7.3 yards per carry. So as a team,
Yep.
They are effective. But then we come back to you, and you're also running the ball effectively, 5.2 yards per carry. Devin Matthews is in the top 30 in the country in yards per carry.
Yeah, no, I love how we're running. I think our top 3 backs are playing extremely well. Devin is a very, very difficult guy to get down. He's going to have to be on point. T. Green coming in. I mean, he's a fantastic changeup because he's got a completely different running style than Devin. And then you throw Chris Watkins in there, and it's really a lot for people to have. Oh no, exactly. He's his own style, and he's his own way of running. So obviously that couldn't happen without our O-line. I mean, we've played a lot of offensive linemen. We've moved a lot of people around, but they've whatever 5 we've put out there, they've been able to gel and play well. So, we're going to have to be able to run the ball. Running the ball against Villanova, as you mentioned their stats, I mean, where they are defensively, it's not easy, but that's just something we're going to have to do, and it's going to have to, keep us on the field, keep the drives alive by, cranking out some 3- and 5-yard runs here and there. And then, once every now and then, we're going to get one of our guys one-on-one with their guys, and we've seen that at Cincinnati, and we've seen that at Morgan State, and I like how our guys have done on those one-on-one matchups.
There you go. Tigers and the Wildcats, Saturday, 3:30 from Villanova. Gordy and I will have the call for you at 3:15 on TowsonTigers.com. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Pete Shinnick, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Football Report.